Hey everybody, welcome to the Not Move Podcast NBA show, The Dribble. I'm the Dollface Gremlin, joined by Tinez and Bags. Bags, how you doing today, my friend?
Gremlin, what's good, big dog? I'm Gucci. How about yourself?
Doing all right, thank you. And Tinez, how about you?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Doing
Good to
amazing.
hear. Good to hear. So let's go in hot and let's start it right off. We have some games happening tonight all across the NBA. Right now. We have Pacers, Clippers squaring off, Heat, Cavs, Hawks, Celtics, Bulls, Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies, and then Pelicans, Raptors, all happening right now. And then, of course, later on, we have Jazz, Nuggets, Wizards, Warriors, Mavs, Trailblazers, and the Nets and the Lakers. Right now, your Cavaliers are up 91-61 in the third there, Tinez. So they're
hmm
looking very, very nice. But I know you wanted to talk about somewhat of Donovan Mitchell's inconsistencies as of late.
I mean, it's been since the injury. I don't know if people have noticed, but for the past month, it's been sporadic. I mean, and this is not even just Donovan Mitchell, really. It's the whole team almost. We've just been loss, win, loss, win. We had a little bit of a three-game winning streak between the Bucks and the Pelicans, but that's the Bucks and the Pelicans, right? As I digress, though, I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he's been okay. I'm not really like alarmed by it because, like I said, he just got out of injury about a little over a month ago. It was a major groin injury, but his efficiency has just been not the most par, at least for me. I mean, hold on, let me just go back here because I had it earlier. I almost lost it. It's been just 30s. Yeah, like lately it's been like the mid 30s, low 40s. Like for example, Philadelphia had 36, 37 in Orlando. I mean, the second game in Orlando recently in 2040, he actually improved. So he's been improving right now. But from the Bucks game till like March 8th, he just didn't really perform. And I'm speaking past tense here. So I don't really know how things are going to go, especially now that we have Jared Allen possibly coming back with his knee injury. So, I mean, it's just been a bumpy road. So I don't really know what to expect because we're right now getting to the end of the wire where our team has to be very cohesive here. You know, this is where you're starting to get into the end of the season where you need things to look like butter. You know what I mean? They need to be smooth. And right now, I just see ourselves a little bit of a bump. I don't know if that has to do with our key players getting injured. It may be for certain, but I'm also noticing that it is hindering some players. For example, Evan Mobley. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, I get it. It was against Miami Heat, but Jesus Christ, he got absolutely like respectfully, of course, but he got beat the fuck up against Bam. Like, dear God, let me just give you some of the box score numbers. I mean, Bam almost had a triple double. He had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Evan Mobley only had like 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
And I mean,
And
I'm interested because I want to hear what Bag has to say about this too, because in some ways you could say that about Donovan Mitchell. I think he has been sort of consistent at least over the last five games. But
right,
Bag, how do you feel about this Cavaliers team and this inconsistency supposedly with Donovan Mitchell and of course Evan Mobley, who clearly has been inconsistent?
It's to me, it confirmed one thing. I was waiting for Evan Mobley to take that next leap. I mean, he's been great since he came in, you know what I'm saying? And he stayed afloat at that point. But, you know, 3, 4 years in the league, bro, we want to see progression. You know what I mean? And then Jared Allen gets hurt. It's like, okay, bro, now we need you to carry the load, you know what I'm saying? That's in the paint when it comes to the front court. And we have not. And I think Jared Allen coming back is going to relieve a lot of the pressure off of Evan Mobley. Maybe he can get back to playing the way he was before.
excuse
And
me.
I think it's going to stop a lot of in the paint points, right? And that's going to fare better for Donovan Mitchell as well. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to have to go as hard because of the teams aren't going to be scoring as much, especially in the paint. So I think
Yeah,
it's going to be
honestly,
beneficial to both
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. I couldn't agree more, honestly. I think a lot of the issues, especially with an Evan Mobley, really does have to do with Jared Allen. And this is something that me and you actually talked a little bit about last week, where I just feel like there's times, like, for example, right now, where it's all to respect. Evan Mobley is not a center. And I feel like there's times where Jared Allen is out. We overcompensate on Evan Mobley. And it kind of makes him worse. Not in the more so when it comes to the defensive player, but definitely in the cases of an offensive player. It shows. So I definitely hear what you're saying. I definitely feel like as soon as we start getting Jared Allen back, and as soon as we start getting things in the roll, I think end up doing better. I mean, right now we're already up by 40 against them compared to last game. It ended up at a 120 to 103. So it's a very big difference. So we just got to wait and see by the end of April of how things are going, especially with a actual healthy Cavs team. That's just what I'm hoping for as of right now.
Yeah, and at least with the Cavs right now, they're sitting at fourth in the East, right behind the Knicks. Of course, the Pistons still hold the lead in the East, followed by the Celtics. Uh, Bags with the arrival of Jason Tatum back on the team. He has been there now for 8 games, and you can see he's slowly working into the system. What have you noticed since Tatum has returned?
I mean that, and this is why I posed that question a few weeks ago. Do you implement him now and disturb the chemistry and the cohesion of the team and hope that the injury holds up, which it's looking good. So the injury part is not really in the question anymore. But you have seen other players not be as efficient as they were before with the implementation of Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? Because it's taking shots away from other guys, right? Like Sam Hoster, Peyton Pritchett, uh Devin. I mean, yeah, Devin White. Like those guys were very key to the success in the beginning of, I mean, before Tatum came back, throughout the season. So it's good to see that he's getting back into, like prime JT form game by game, and I think it'll continue. But what's gonna happen when you go up against the Knicks, you know what I mean, in a 7-game series? Like,
Yeah,
is that gonna help? So
I
it's
don't think
it's
so.
very interesting to see.
I don't think so. And the reason only why I say it wouldn't is because, and I've had a conversation with one of my buddies a couple of days ago actually about this. There's times in some situations, not every situation, excuse me, where you start seeing JT a little bit limited on what he can do. Not saying that may be what he's going to be like during the playoffs, because who knows, he might get better, especially with his health. But as of right now, when we're seeing where there's situations where he's just sitting in the corner and he can't really do a whole lot with it, right? Like my thing with it as a whole is I feel like they just need to transition and move the offense around more, even if that means utilizing a case situational play with a Jason Tatum. But you got to move this guy around more. I don't think him being a position shooter type of guy is really going to help benefit the team long term. It may help him for short term regarding his health and what he's capable of doing, but I don't know if it's going to help long term, like you said, facilitating the team and actually getting things moving, especially off transition. So I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, right now the Celtics are 78-73 over the Atlanta Hawks, but Tatum is 4 for 14 shooting right now with 10 points. He's not looking too good to start this game or to finish this game either. Um, but besides that game, let's kind of also dive into the Clippers right now are up 90, well, were, but they're facing the Pacers. They're down 94-99. They're in an interesting position right now, being in the eighth seed. Um, Now, the Clippers, of course, if they do eventually obtain that eighth seed, they're going to face the Thunder. Uh, but Tinez, right now, the Thunder are trying to implement old Jay back into the roster since he's returned. He's supposed to be their number two scorer, Jalen. I mean, sorry.
You're-
How do you think that's going to work? Because I mean, obviously, the Thunder just keep on thundering, right? They just keep on picking up wins. With the last loss coming not so long ago, do you think they're going to be able to be all right with him? I feel like I'm asking a stupid question because I
I
feel
mean,
like they will be, but you never know.
I think they'll be fine with or without him. Honestly, I mean, these two. I mean, especially for the Clippers and the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder right now has just been a very good defensive team. I mean, as long as Shea is out there carrying the offensive load, I don't really see a whole lot of problems when it comes to opportunity and scheme wise, especially when it comes to transition, I'm able to score, right? I would say the only concern is, especially with losing a Jalen Williams, is obviously depth, because you want to keep your guys healthy, especially during playoffs, especially for a guy like Jalen Williams, who's the second best scorer. It's very important, especially with a facilitating offense that the Thunder isn't really known for. Not saying they can't do it, but it's not really in their portrait. They're much more of a defensive team. So I feel like losing him may be a little bit of a factor offensively, but I don't think it's going to be the end all be all coming into it, with or without
And Bag with Jalen return, he returned on the 23rd, and he looked all right. Given the 20 minutes that he had, 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's going to take a strain off of SGA leading into the playoffs, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, 18 points in 20 minutes, bro. Like, that's impressive. You know what I mean? You're literally scoring a point a minute. Like, and that is like unheard of when it comes to basketball. But in his defense is a huge part of it too. You know what I mean? He's got a huge wingspan, to be guarding guards. So absolutely. And the offensive production is definitely going to help SGA out 100%.
Yeah, Jalen, what impressed me too is, the 6 assists, not only 18 points in 20 minutes, but he's also creating 6 buckets as well,
Hmm.
aside from his shooting. So anything that is going to help SGA out, especially Jalen, who it really is, if you think about it, it is surprising to say, but he is their number 2 scorer when he's in the lineup. It's not Chet, it's him. So this is going to help SGA and alleviate him some more of that offensive responsibility. Um, and right now, of course, we're going to take just a quick moment. We're going to take a break. Everybody just stick around with us. We just want you to check out what shows we got running through the Not Move podcast. And of course, if you can, go ahead, take a look at that QR code right up in the corner, because that is the Not Move store where you can find all of our goodies. So just hang around real quick for a little over a minute. We'll be right back with you.
No, but Friday nights, 9 Eastern, it's the Dribble NBA edition on the Not Move podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Move podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, not moved. Stay not moved.
Tap into the Not Move podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the scrap sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
and
replays.
A whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind. Ringside
Every Thursday night, the Not Move podcast drops a new episode of
In the Wicked,
our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same audition.
The world's game has a new home. Tap into the Not Move podcast every Sunday night at 9 Eastern. It's the football edition, and I'm bringing you the L Uncle Max attack, everything World Cup, every angle, every goal. Breakdowns, laughs, and all the passion in the pitch. Stay locked, stay ready.
Morning bettors, welcome back to Angling the Odds on the Not Move podcast.
Every Monday and Friday, we tear into lines, probabilities, and hidden edges across the boards.
We run the numbers, chart the trends, and find value plays so you can tilt the odds your way.
Live at 10:30 Eastern. Mark it, lock it, and join the conversation.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us, everyone, through the break there. We really appreciate that. And with the season starting to wind down to the end, that leaves us talking about who we think is going to make the All NBA teams. Now, of course, they have changed up the All NBA teams. You could make it fluid, be positionless if you want, just the five best All NBA players in your opinion. For me, in my opinion, I want to still keep it the way I'm going to look at it is 1 through 5. I'm going to pick a player 1 through 5. That's just I old fashioned of me, right? So, but Bag, I want to start with you. Right off the bat, who was a person that you just cannot leave off the All NBA first team?
It's unfortunate. I mean, I think these last few, I think it's about a week and a half, 2 weeks now since Cade Cunningham's played.
Yeah.
I think he was really on a stretch to where arguably first he's good. I think he could definitely get for All NBA first team or arguably MVP. You know what I'm saying? But since I don't know if he's going to be in the running because of the collapsed lung, I got to say SGA at 1, of course. You know what I'm saying? I think he's in prime to be MVP back-to-back. He's the #1 scorer in the league. He's the 6th best defender at the point guard position. And to me, that has a lot to do with it. I'm really huge on the defensive end. At the 2 guard, I wouldn't be mad. Donovan, even though he's kind of slowed up, like you said, the last month or so because of injury, I'd be cool with if he got it. The 3, well, you know what? I'm gonna change that. I'll give it to Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna go Jaylen Brown. Now I think about it, because that last month actually he hasn't really slowed down, so I give it to Jaylen Brown over Donovan. At the 3. A lot of people ain't gonna like this, but I think KD has had a serviceable, maybe not first team. Yeah, maybe not first team. Who's in contention? You got a list that's in contention?
Yeah, I mean, we have some of the usual suspects in Luca. Of course, Luca's in contention. Wemby's in contention right now. Jokic is in contention. And of course, Jalen Brunson is in contention for one of those top positions. Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, I think Tyrese Maxey has to get a look. I think he's definitely going to make a second team. But yeah, it's hard. It's how positionless things are. It's hard to find like a true 4, a true 4, and like that's where, in my opinion, I'm kind of with you. Like if I'm staying traditional, for me, it's probably going to be KD, right? Just because that's the one that steps out, because Paolo has taken a severe step back this year.
Definitely.
That's who I initially thought was going to be possibly in the running for first team. But yeah, unfortunately, he's taken a step back. But Karl Anthony Towns has a case too. You could throw him at the 4 if you really wanted to. I'm not a big fan of him, but stats
I
and
would
everything
say
are in consideration.
I would say Bam over.
Bam's not a bad option. Actually, also
over Karl, just because, like, defensive wise, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the offense is kind of close.
Mm-hmm. Can I actually make a comment a little bit on that Cade Cunningham you said earlier?
Of course.
I actually looked into this about 2-3 days ago. They're actually thinking about giving him the first team All NBA despite the exception of him not actually going past the 65 game mark. So that may most likely happen because the agents have already been talking to Detroit and the NBA association, and they've been thinking about actually still giving it to him. And I don't blame.
Do
I
not
don't
like
blame.
that.
I don't blame them.
No, I do.
I really don't.
I do not like that. Do not like that. You made that mark, because if that was the case, I mean, should have, what's the name, won MVP back to back? Joel?
Yeah, he could have won it back to back
Yeah,
the one year.
The only reason why the main reason why he couldn't is because they implemented that 65 game minimum.
Let's see here.
Yeah,
Let me just
and
double check my sources.
here's my gripe with it. I agree with you 100%, Bag. I don't like that the NBA Players Association now wants to call it out, even though they're the ones who agreed to it when they made this agreement. They were fine with it all up until last year. I it just
Yep. So that was
it's
the agreement.
recency bias. That's all this is.
Yeah.
This is hurt feelings and recency bias. And you guys made the rules, and you have to adhere to them.
Yeah, so it's been a case right now for like the past 3 days. I mean, it was just posted on ESPN that they're actually thinking about changing all these 65 game rule because of the whole injury with him, which I understand because it was such a tragic injury, especially for a team like the Detroit Pistons, and especially for a guy like Cade Cunningham who's carrying that offense. But then at the same time, when you look at everyone else, are you really going to give everyone else the same credit? I don't really think so. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like it. So I can see your point too, Beck. I can see why you wouldn't like that.
If you want to do it
it's not fair to
after the
everyone else.
season, yeah, if you want to do it at
Right.
the end of the season and implement it back after during the off season, sure. But in the middle of, or at the end of the season, going into where the playoff starts, you're just going to say, oh, well, let's just forget that we set the 65 game minimum for any award. Nah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's not fair. Not fair at all.
It's not fair for everyone else when you look at it too, especially for guys who have had tragic injuries. Because I mean, if that's the case, then we would have seen a lot of players still get their money's worth. So I hear you.
All right, so it basically at the last position at 5, I would probably give it to Wemby over Jokic.
All day. I'm with you 100%.
I'm not mad at that, especially
Nope.
defensively. I mean, he's been arguably one of the best. He's, if not the best.
He's the best. Yeah, he's the number 1 defender in the league.
Yeah.
And 20th, I think, on offense. So it's like,
Very
that's
impressive.
really good.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
You don't see that actually. That is actually something I do want to touch upon. You don't really see that a lot with bigs that are really known for defense, because normally, especially, I mean, when was the last time we've had a top 5 defensive player and offensive player as a center?
Probably
Giannis.
Dwight.
Shaq?
I mean,
I don't think he had Dwight or
Giannis.
Shaq.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Giannis
Giannis.
in the early 2020s.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's about right. Yeah. I
and
would
then
say,
before that, I mean, you could go Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard had some great defensive prowess. As much as our friend coach is going to hate to hear, that's the truth.
It is.
Yeah, but then also while being a good offensive player at the same time, it's very hard to do. It's very impressive. Very impressive.
So now Tinez, he's given us basically his 5. Who would you have as your 5 for All NBA? You don't have to adhere to the rules that I like. You do what you want. 5 best players, or do you go 1 through 5?
I mean, I'm gonna try my best to go 1 through 5, but like you said earlier, I don't really know if I'm gonna find a 4, because it's really gonna be hard to find a lot of 4s. Because I mean, a lot of them 5 to 4, it's normally the same depending on the player. But I'm gonna just pick my 5 out like this. I mean, I definitely got to give 1 to Luka. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like talking about it because I get it. He's been shooting at a high volume, but he has been making very great performances as an offensive player for the Lakers. And honestly, I think if they even have him, I don't see the Lakers even getting as too close as being in the top 3 seed. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know his high volume may struggle for other players and other players' opportunity, like an Austin Reeves we've been seeing. But at the same time, I mean, the guy is giving us between 30 and almost 60-point games in the past almost month and a half. I haven't seen a bad performance in him since January, like early February. So I mean, he's been when it's when they need him, he's there. 2 in the shooting guard, I'm gonna give it to my boy JB. I mean, that guy has been a really good floor raiser for the Boston Celtics, and honestly, I don't really see why you wouldn't give it to a guy like Jaylen Brown, especially for carrying that team like the Boston Celtics, because nobody expected that. Nobody expected the Boston Celtics still to be in the second seed without Jason Tatum. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody expects that. So
That's facts.
I give him and the coach much more praise for that. Then obviously the other two I'm gonna give it to is Jokic and Shea. I mean, runners up for MVP. So I mean that's not even a question. Two of them have been extremely phenomenal performance wise, especially at Jokic, who is not only we've seen being a ceiling raiser in recent years, but also now being a floor raiser with losing a lot of key pieces like a Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon, and is still performing and actually facilitating the team still very consistently. So I got to give them their props. Now the fifth one, I have to give that to Wemby. Yeah, without a doubt, I gotta give that to Wemby. Dude is just an animal. So I mean, that's my five right there. I mean, honestly, the only person I would change out of that is Cade, and I would give it to Luka, just because of the injury and what Luka has been doing right now.
I mean, go ahead, Graham.
No, I mean that's not too bad. The point guard one is tough for me because technically SGA could be there, technically Luca could be there, but they could technically SGA could also technically be a shooting guard. That's where I find trouble. Like for me, if I'm going by what I appreciate as a true point guard position, I'm putting Tyrese Maxey in. But because he's really primarily a point guard for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's been obviously the top guy for them this whole season. So it's tough for me. It's tough for me in this non-positionless world to just pick the best five because honestly, I'm with you, Bag. My five is Wemby over Jokic this year. Wemby on both sides of the court is way more effective to me than Jokic. I mean, Jokic leads with defensive rebounds, but in every other aspect, Wemby just wins. So, and then I think we should consider Jalen Johnson for the power forward position from the Hawks this year. KD, yeah, of course, he has done the same things that he does. He just scores, and he is listed as a power forward. But Jalen Johnson has really improved. I think he's been the best in the East. If we're going to do traditional power forwards, he kind of floats between that 3 and 4 position, but that's someone who I would consider as well.
I ain't mad at that. That's why I picked KD at the 3 and had Bam at the 4 because he's got for the power forward position. He gives you great offensive production. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's like 18 points per game, 19 points per game, something like 20, that. Yeah. So with that, I think he's a better interior defender for sure than Jalen Johnson.
Off the glass, I hear you.
Yeah, but there's not the gap isn't big enough on the perimeter for me to just sheerly give it to Jalen. You know what I'm saying? And for me, your perimeter defense is very important, but just the sheer size and the skinny, like how skinny he is, like he'll get easily punished in the paint by, guys that are traditional back to the basket kind of guys. So I would definitely probably have to say Bam at the 4 over Jalen. It's not a knock on Jalen. It's just traditionally, like you said, 1 through 5, I would probably go Bam just because I got KD at the 3, and I'm not gonna say Jalen over KD at the 3. That'd be my only retort.
Yeah, I feel like Jalen has earned that number 1 spot this year. For me, he's the 3 spot. He's 3 all day with a bullet. I think what Jaylen Brown has done this year has been very impressive. I like seeing him succeed. And, so I think he has to be on first team. Now, one question I want to pose to you guys for consideration. Honestly, don't think it's going to happen because he can only miss 1 game. But If Kawhi Leonard plays out the rest of the season and maintains the numbers he does with 65 or 66 games at 28 points a game and back to 2 steals a game, so he is shown on the defensive part. Do you think he should be considered for that number 3 position for first team?
I'm not mad at that, especially for a two-way like him where, yeah, he hasn't really shown a lot in recent years, but right now he's really giving a lot of his dues. I think for this year, for Kawhi Leonard, who we haven't really seen give a lot of grace to the Clippers, and is right now really trying to be the forefront with a Darius Garland. Yeah, I gotta give it to them, especially to the fact that they went from, what was it, they were in like the 12th, 13th seed all the way up to the 8th before like their little run they had, because I know they ranked up like at least 2 or 3 spots before we saw them like around March.
Sounds about right. The 10th or 11th, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, how many games do they have left?
9 games left.
Any back-to-backs?
Let me check their schedule real quick.
That's going to be the key factor.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's a good point. He does not like to play back-to-backs. So there is 1 back-to-back left in this schedule, which is the 7th and 8th of April. Kawhi Leonard he can miss 1 game. Okay, so he's playing tonight. And he's got 26 points. He's 12 of 25 shooting, 1 from 6 from 3 though. But here it is: 3 steals, 8 rebounds. He's a plus 15 in the game. The only closest person on his team is the plus 8 in Brook Lopez, and that that absolutely disgusts me to read
plus
that.
15.
Yeah, like I'm mad at you. If he can have the amount of games, to qualify, I'm not mad at that. I mean,
not at all.
He's a prominent top 5 two-way player in the league when he's on the floor. So
yeah,
absolutely.
That's the one thing is just he's the one player that you can look at and everybody will say the same thing. Nobody differs. It's like, oh, when he's on the floor, he's a top 5 player. You know,
absolutely.
It's not nobody will argue. They're just like, oh yeah, Kawhi's on the floor. He's healthy. Oh, it's time to watch out. We got to change the whole game plan. So,
and that's how I feel about Anthony Davis as well.
100% agree.
For the most part, especially except it's like last year or so.
I really wish we could see Davis healthy right now, especially next year. I'm really hoping because I kind of think the Wizards might have something for next year.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think depending on how the free agency is and what they do with the draft, they're obviously going to have a good pick this year, see where they fall in the lottery. But Trey, AD, Alex Sarr, those are some pieces, at least for a 3-year window, that you got to do something. I'm interested to see what the Wizards can do with that.
It's the bench that they got to bulk up for real. Because, I mean, I think even with Anthony Davis at this stage of his career, say he gives you Evan Mobley type numbers, you know what I'm saying? 18 to 20 a game, 9 rebounds, and you can play solid defense. I'm cool with that. Will he be the walking 27, 7, and 8 guy? Probably not. But I think, like you said, with the addition of Trey Sarr, you can bulk up that bench a little bit, get some decent rotation guys. They got a bright little future I can see.
Yeah, someone I want to see them boost is Bub Carrington. I want to see them develop him. I got to watch him play in college, and I think he is the type of point guard who could come in and back up Trey in a very good way and get some good backup minutes in there. Especially, too, they have Kashawn George. And I think that's someone, he's 6'8", and he's very versatile. I think that's someone, if you develop him, he could be paired next to Alex Sarr and just be a nice combo of stretch bigs. I don't know. I think the Wizards might finally have something to build off of, and I hope they don't do anything stupid and wizard it up because they like to do that with their own organization. Now, if Tinez, you guys coming into this, I think we should talk about one last thing with the Knicks. It seems like you and your team, the Knicks, are going back and forth right now. But mostly, I don't like if you're ending up in the 4 position. How do you feel if you're ending up in 4 right now? I think you want home. I think you want to be a little bit higher than that. I think you want to be in 3 just for the matchup.
I'm honestly fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with that actually, because regardless, I mean, you're not
Do
gonna
you want
have
to play the
Cade.
Hawks?
Yes, yeah, I actually wouldn't have a problem playing a team like the Hawks, especially with the team we got. If our team is healthy, and if our bigs can actually be the forefront of what we got, dude, like I said, our bigs will take us as far as we can go. They will. And I won't be surprised at Jared Allen and me Mobley having a good game to the Hawks. Yeah, it may be a little bit of a problem, especially against a Jalen Johnson. But I don't think it's going to be as crazy as like going up against like a Bam Adebayo or like a Joel Embiid. It's not the same.
How do you feel about that, Bag? I think that Hawks matchup is going to give the Cavs a lot more of a problem than people expect, because I think the Hawks are more athletic than the Cavs are.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, yeah, I mean, because the higher you up, the worse team you play. You know what I mean? You play a worse team. So, of course, you want to get to the highest seed as possible. I mean, the Hawks would give them a good run for their money at bare minimum. So I agree. I would want to work my way up and see if I can swap spots with the Knicks. You know what I mean? From 4 to 3. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the way it's shaking out, that 7, 8, 9, 10 position, the Heat are kind of starting to level out, aren't they? After that week or two there of a good run, they're starting to get back to even keel. And then the Hornets seem to just keep on winning. This team wants to get in there. They're about to eclipse the Magic, depending on how these next couple games go, and be in that 8 position. And if the 76ers, who are also battling with the Raptors right now for that 6 position, are in that same, I think the Hornets are a nightmare matchup for anybody right now in the 2-3 position.
Do you want to hear my hot take for that one, Graham? Because I had a hot take about this one this week.
Yes, I do.
I think if the Hornets do make an 8th seed, and if they do face the Pistons, I think the Pistons will be first round exits.
Yeah, without Cade, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of a given. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
they better hope the Hornets don't get that 8th seed and make it into the playoffs, because I didn't think it would be this year. But going forward, they have a nice core as well, just like Washington. You know what I'm saying? They got a young core that's been playing together for a couple years. They're starting to actually hit their, I'm not going to say their prime, especially because they got 3 guys that shoot the ball so well from behind the arc.
Yes.
with Ball, Brandon Miller. Yeah, and Knipple. I think Knipple is the key. He's the X factor for that offense.
Especially when it comes to the facilitation realms, I agree. I mean, with LaMelo Ball and Knipple, you're getting a high volume, especially in that production. I mean, though I gotta give it to also Brandon Miller. I mean, that dude, and both sides of the ball, he is above average, been playing very well. And all these guys are very young. So, I mean, I definitely can see them being capable. The only thing I would say I just have a problem with is just LaMelo's efficiency. He has to be efficient in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It has to be. There's a lot of times where we just see a high volume out of LaMelo. And I just feel like it's sometimes, not all the time, that it just makes some of the players worse. Not every single player on the team, but some.
Well, with LaMelo, I think we definitely are going to want to see him be better with the ball and smarter with his shots. I think that's what
That's
it
the
is.
word I'm looking for. There you go.
Yeah, he has to be smarter with his shots. But I think that there's a reason he has looked a little bit better lately, because if you look at his scoring, he's taking less shots. He's being a little bit better efficiently. And I think that's because of the addition of Kobe White. I think Kobe White is going to be the key to help this team to come off the bench, to be that guidance for them because yes, Kobe White didn't play a lot of meaningful minutes in Chicago because they played a lot of play-in games. Let's be honest, during his tenure there, he hasn't really seen a deep playoff run. But maybe that's why the Hornets wanted that trade is to get him in there to be a part of this hopefully future deep playoff run. I like Kobe White. I think he's very underrated for what he's done in his 7 years in the league. And I think this Hornets team, we saw him starting to rise up with Chicago. I think he'll rise up with this Hornets team. I don't know. I really like the promise. I think this isn't going to be their year, obviously. Tinez, you bring up a good point. Without and bag without Cade, anything could happen with that Pistons team. I do believe they're a good team still. Jalen Duren has really stepped up lately. Really impressive. But I think you guys are both right. I could see if they play a Hornets team like this that is really, if they stay this hot going into the playoffs, Pistons better watch out for sure.
6-7. I see it 6-7. I know. Sorry for the trend. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It's the reality. It's the honest. If it's gonna be in that series, Grim, in that situation, we all know it's going to a game 6 or 7. I'm sorry for the meme. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. You don't have to lie to us about it.
I don't know, bro. I mean,
you see it going
without Cade, bro.
I can maybe see
the
a 5.
Pistons worry you without Cade, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, because I mean, they could look good, in some regular season games, because the matchups they change. This is now NBA playoff basketball. Everything slows down, more half court sets. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't have your guy, makes it a whole lot harder, bro.
Yep.
That's one thing I do know.
Especially in transition, yeah.
No, you're right. And the only playoff experience these guys have is the 6 games from last year where, it wasn't really, it was nice to see them play 6 games, but it wasn't really that tough of competition for the other squad. So you're right. Without Cade, I do like the talent, but, or is Jalen Duren going to lead this team in the playoffs?
It's hard when your big is your best player.
Yeah, because besides him, I mean, I don't think Tobias is going to be the one popping in there. And I think even he is been recently injured quite a few times. Of course, we've seen Duncan Robinson just continue to be the up and down shooter he is.
Mm-hmm.
And Asar Thompson, I'm not impressed with his shooting as of late. I mean, it's much better than his brothers, thankfully. But Asar, is he ready to take that step? I don't think so. I don't think this. I think you're right, Bag. I think you nailed it. Cade is really the key that gets this team in the door. And without Cade, it might be a bad early playoff exit for them, no matter who they're facing in that 8 position.
Yeah.
Do you think the Hornets will get their bag?
They would have to face.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know. Okay, who's in 8 right now?
Right now, it's the Magic. They're same record, so it could jump after tonight's games.
Yeah, I could see the Hornets getting it over the Magic. Yeah, especially if they're that close.
Yeah, because right now,
do they play each other?
So actually, the Magic and the Hornets play. The Hornets play tomorrow night, and the Magic do not play until Sunday against the Raptors, which the Raptors are playing pretty good ball again.
I'm gonna be honest though, and I'm just saying, just from what I have seen from the Magic, that is another team that I am a little bit worried about for playing. Just because I get it, they may not have like a whole lot of big name players that say like Powell. We haven't really seen a lot of things from Powell, but Desmond Bane, I mean, that dude has been everywhere in my eyes, especially when it matters. Like, for example, if you really look into the games that we have faced in Orlando Magic, he has just been like 25, 30-point plus games, shooting on 45, 50 plus efficiency. I mean, he has just been a freak, honestly. And honestly, I just feel like if that team as a whole really starts getting things cohesive, that is another scary team in my eyes, definitely for playing, is an Orlando Magic. But obviously, that depends on where they actually face. I can also see them beating a team like the Detroit Pistons, but
But like Grimmer said, it all depends on Pablo.
It does. It does. Especially on both sides.
I really do not like this Magic team this year. They have been awful lately, especially as of late. I mean, Desmond Bain has been sort of the lone bright spot, and he has just been getting torched on defense. But
that is true.
They are 1-4 in their last 5 games, and they lost to Indiana in a devastating fashion by 2 points. I watched most of that game. That team looked discombobulated. They should have been all over the Pacers that game, and they just let Naismith tear them up. Paolo, once again, he had 39, but in a meaningless way. He's a -4. Da Silva pretty much looked like one of the only good players out there. I don't know why. It seems maybe Bag, you can answer this for me. Maybe because the Magic have been really inconsistent since the beginning. I think the Magic, if they end up being in the 8th seed, I think the Pistons will beat them.
I could see that because just from top, even missing Cade, I think they can do enough to slow down Pablo as a whole team. And like I said, it all.
Yeah, and well, guys, quickly, we'll touch on the games here before we get on out of Dodge. The Clippers did end up beating the Pacers 114 to 113. Pacers really making these games tough on these teams, even though they're not even close. Your team is going to end up winning this game as of right now, Tinez, unless the Heat come back from this 26 point or 27 points down. You are up 132-105 in the fourth quarter.
Handing the
Cavaliers. Yeah, and I gotta say, you guys are really doing a great job of spreading the ball around tonight. Strus and Mobley, the top scorers, 29 for Strus, 23 for Mobley. So the ball distribution has been getting around.
That is another
tonight.
guy that I'm very proud of. I'm actually glad you mentioned Strus. I don't know if y'all know much about him, but he was one of our small forwards last year, and he suffered a terrible injury that basically almost cost him the majority of the season. He just got back. It was like, a week ago, I think. He was a little rough coming into the first couple games, but I think right now he's really starting to buff out a lot of the things that we've been seeing that's been off with him. And some of it's just been preventable. Like a lot of it was just his efficiency and just trying to get back in the groove of things. So it's really good to have him, especially for us, where we've been seeing guys like Dean Wade and Dennis Schroeder really struggling. Even sometimes Sam Merle's not really having a game. So it's really good to have Strauss, who's always going to be another stretch four and someone that can really ease off of a Dean Wade.
Yeah, I was when Max got signed to the Cavaliers after his impressive run there for the last couple of years with the Miami Heat. I thought that was a great pickup for Cleveland. I was really impressed by that. I like that pickup. I thought that was really good for depth for them, and I think this year he is really making them proud of that contract they gave him. He's doing a good job. Celtics and Hawks right now. The Celtics are about to close this game out. They have looks like they're about to close at 109-101 with 23 seconds left in the fourth. The Bulls and Thunder, the Thunder up 91-88 in the third period with 1:18 left to go in that third quarter. Rockets and Grizzlies, Rockets up 89-84 in the fourth. Hey, everybody, beware. The Rockets are probably going to lose that game. Their clutch time stats and their clutch time play in the fourth quarter has been awful lately. So we will see if KD can keep them afloat or not. Pelicans, Raptors at the half. Raptors up 59-44 on the Pelicans. And then the Nuggets and Jazz are getting into it with the Nuggets leading into the second quarter, 43-38. Tinez, is there anything you want to leave us with before we get on out of here, buddy?
we're getting to the end of the wire. I mean, I don't really know what to expect, but we just gotta see the show, man. Like I said last week, it's just we gotta see it finish off here, man. It's gotta finish strong one way or another. But eventually, we're gonna see a lot of these teams on who really wants it, who really doesn't. I think that's what's really gonna be the thing for the playoffs. We're gonna see a lot of players this year who really, really do want it. And that's my only takeaway on it. I just wish for them to take the advantage because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very different than regular season. It's going to be a lot more grit, a lot more trash talking. It's going to be a lot more competitive. And I'm glad to see it, especially when you see us at the 4th seed where we're kind of in the middle end of things, especially in the East. So I like it because that gives us a lot more opportunity to grow and actually face a lot more competition. So honestly, we just got to chip away one day at a time, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited. My newly elected team, the Hornets, are doing me proud, trying to challenge for that last spot. And it would be a heck of a thing to root for them, and they upset the Pistons this year. I'm hoping it happens, but we'll
I
see.
will love it, dude.
Always,
I'm telling you.
right? Always gonna be hopeful for my new
Oh,
team, the
dude.
Hornets. But we will be back next week. Bag will be back with us. Tinez will be back, and hopefully we'll have a couple others. There's Bag right now. Hey, Bag, is there anything you want to say and leave us with before we get on out of here for the week?
Sure. Yeah, it was a great show. Love talking ball with y'all. Love the knowledge. I'm really looking forward to see who wins MVP. I'm not the hugest SGA fan. I think a lot of people are just already trying to anoint him as an all-time great. I think is a little premature. I do like what he's doing and what he has became over the last 6-7 years of his NBA career. But yeah, I mean, I want to see if he can snag a back-to-back. I think if he does, it's well deserved because, like I said, he's the best scorer. He's league. I think he's number 1 in scoring and 6th at defense at his position. He's the 6th best defensive point guard. And a lot of people give the credit to the whole team and kind of ignore his defense for the last 2 years, which I think is very disingenuous because when your on ball defense is graded as high as it is, like you can't take that away. That's not team defense. You know what I mean? That's individual. So I think it's very casual like when you do that. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I think SGA, I think what gets in the way of all the positive things about SGA that we don't throw out there is the clear, just biased fouls that keep getting called for the Thunder against other teams. It's just bad refing across the board. I'm not going to blame biasness for the Thunder because it's just bad officiating across the board. But Bag, you are absolutely right. SGA ranks in the top, like you said. I think he was number 2. I know he's been in the top 5 all year long for his on-ball defense for shooting guards. So yeah, he does deserve the credit. His efficiency shooting wise is incredible as well. I think now what we're having a little bit of recency bias with this surge of Luca right late in the season with all of his offense. I think this is where that's what's coming into question for the MVP is are people going to give it to Luca because they feel he is overdue or because he actually deserves it? But guys, we are going to be back next Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know we will have Bags with us. We'll have Tinez. Hopefully, we'll have a couple other NMP members. I'll be back. And of course, we'll be discussing all the NBA action. And hopefully, we'll be able to put together one last show, even if it's an odd day of the week. Maybe we'll get together one last show to just do some playoff predictions once we find out what those top 10 teams look like going into the playing games. But Bags, Tinez, it's been a pleasure as always. Anything you guys one more time want to get off?
I'm good, man. 1 week on to the next. Just keep chipping away. I'm good.
All right. Until next time. See you guys. Not moved.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.